look at banks right now. Now, what caught my attention? The banks, as you can see here, the dividend yield is more than 5%. And historically speaking, that is quite attractive. Generally speaking, if the yield is more than 4%, I am actually quite excited already. So now it's actually more than 5%. Okay, OCBC even give up to 6% yield. You don't see this kind of yield very often. And the PE is below 10 times. Again, compared to history, quite low. However, the PB is above 1. So I call this stage is cheap, but not super cheap. To qualify as super cheap, I need the PB to even be below 1. Same thing, I do the 3-stage business analysis, financial statement analysis, pricing analysis, and yeah, the banks has been actually quite interesting. The business has been doing very well. You can see that the DBS is DBS. The 3Q one should be come out very soon, but unfortunately, by today, I still don't have the 3Q figures. Anyway, you can see that the Q2, the profit bid estimate expect to be record year. Okay, but one thing to take note, the customer loan has actually dropped. So something that we may actually need to monitor a bit. But then the wealth management AUM up to 9%. Basically now, more and more rich people are in Singapore, and the wealth management AUM, as you can see, has been on the record. Understand this, okay, the bank's quite interesting. Interest rate is high, they benefit. Okay, for obvious reasons, right? Interest is high, they benefit. Like your mortgage loan, they actually collect more interest, so they make money. Interest rate is low, right? That means what? The business actually gets better. Economy actually get better. They're more borrowing. So I think they are in actually a very interesting position. High interest rate, they also benefit. Low interest rate, generally speaking, okay, we talk about economy improving. Okay, we talk about people borrow more, so it's actually also good for them. And now they have the benefit of strong inflow of wealth. Okay, so basically, a lot of rich people are coming to Singapore. So in fact, I realize now there are more and more expensive cars on the road. The banks are actually benefiting quite a bit from this. Okay, so the rest of the banks all show the same picture. OCBC Q2 profit up. Okay, doing very well. And UOB, okay, UOB is the third quarter one. Okay, so I'm able to get the third quarter UOB results. Same thing, net profit go up. Net interest income is up. The fees is actually up. So same, the fees is actually more for the wealth management fees. So the banks are actually doing quite okay business-wise. So UOB, I'm able to get the outlook by the CEO. 2024, they are still looking at, in fact, they're still looking at the loan growth. Can you see? Even though it's single digit, but actually looking at loan growth. They expect the margin to remain at current level, but they expect double-digit fee growth. So basically now they're actually making quite a bit of money from the wealth management side. So one other thing that get me to bank here is this. So this is very fresh. I think this is today's. He actually is in opinion that Singapore economic growth is to pick up in 2024. Inflation to ease after GST reason. So basically we actually expect, let's say what he says is true. Economy 2024 will get better. Economy get better, STI will go up. And of course, STI go up, that means the banks will all benefit. Because the banks are the main component of STI. So you have to think of it this way. Let's say from the fund manager, let's say I'm a global fund manager. I see that, wow, Singapore economy is actually picking up. I want to invest in Singapore. I don't know what to buy. I go and buy STI. So if I buy STI, I'm actually buying the 3 banks. Okay, because the 3 banks are all the major component of STI. Okay, so but of course, this is controversial. There are still people who think that 2024 is going to be worse. There are people who believe that 2024 will be better. So of course, if you think it's worse, then maybe not a good time to buy banks. But if you are agreeable to this article, yeah, that means maybe it's time to get ready. Why he actually thinks so? Manufacturing Singapore should see a cautious recovery. There are also early signs that financial sector has bottomed out, stabilizing interest rate. And US Fed Reserve, European Central Bank, along with many other policies worldwide have put a pause on rate hikes as inflation has peaked. If it's worse, does it mean that the bank stock become cheaper to buy? Yeah, of course. If let's say, for example, next year the economy go down, yeah, then of course, maybe it still makes sense to wait a while. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Business-wise, personal opinion, I think it's quite good. The bank's business is doing well. Economy-wise, I do echo this article. I am also in the opinion that 2024 is going to be a better year. I think we have been down for too long already, since 2020. Things hasn't been rosy. I sense that there is this pent up feeling that everybody want the world to get better. Hopefully 2024 is a one. Okay, so personally, I am one of those that hope 2024 get better. And if it really happens, of course, the bank stock, STI, all these will go up. Okay, but it may not happen. It may not happen. Then, yes, the banks will remain down and things like that. So that's business analysis. Okay, financial analysis. Okay, we cannot do the 6 tests for the banks because their balance sheet, their financial statement is a bit unique. So we actually look at 2 things. One is called the capital adequacy ratio. Okay, I hope you all remember my lesson. So let's say, for example, the banks have $1, one physical dollar in the bank account. How much can they lend out? Is it less than $1, $1, or more than $1? So the banks can lend out more than $1. Okay, so the banks can actually loan out more money than they have. So what happened here is this: they actually have to keep certain amount of reserve, keep certain amount of capital in the bank. Capital adequacy ratio means that the amount of reserve divided by, okay, I think that the actual calculation is a little bit more complicated, but generally speaking, it's just the reserve divided by the total amount of loan they actually loan out. So that is what we call capital adequacy ratio. So in that sense, if let's say this ratio is higher, means that they have more capital to support the loan. If the capital adequacy is low, right, that means they have minimal capital to support the loan. The calculation, like I said, is a little bit more detailed. But in any case, they actually somehow break it into 3 parts. Common equity tier 1, and total. And based on MAS requirement, as you can see here, the common equity tier 1 must be more than 9%. Tier 1 must be more than 10.5. Then after that, total must be 12.5. Okay, don't ask me what's the difference. Okay, that one is beyond me already. Okay, but it should be quite related to the amount of reserve versus amount of loan. Okay, so you can see that for DBS, this is DBS, their ratio is well above the requirement set by MAS. And by the way, MAS standard is already higher than the international standard, and our banks is even higher, higher than the MAS standard. So it's actually quite safe. Of course, the other one we can track is by the year. You can see that over the years, okay, this is 2018, this is 2022. Over the years, the ratio has actually increased. Okay, that's one way to check the financial health of the banks. The other one is actually look at this thing called the non-performing loan rate. Now, this non-performing loan rate, lower better. Okay, thank you so much. So again, you can see, in fact, for DBS, it's improving because it's actually coming down. So if you ask me, they're quite healthy. This is for OCBC, so same story. So you can see 15, 15, 17. Okay, so in fact, it's better than the DBS one. Okay, anyway, it's healthy. Non-performing loan also coming down, so very good. UOB. Okay, UOB is 2022 is here. So UOB is not as good, 13, 14, 16, but regardless, it's still past the MAS benchmark. MAS benchmark is 9, 10, 20, 12. So UOB is 13, 14, 16, so still pass. Okay, but of course, if you want to compare based on all these stats, The rest of the other two seems to be better than the UOB. So that's for financial statement. Pricing, I actually go and pull out the quarterly reports. Okay, you can see there, they actually have this figure down there. Net asset value is 24.89. So if you do the calculation by itself, it's no lah, 1.08. So I haven't really go below 1 yet. But nevertheless, is the lowest among the three. Okay, so this is exactly what I do. I just go and get, okay, but of course, you can see here, these two is second quarter lah. If you want, you can go look for the latest quarter. Okay, I just share with you where you can find this information. If you want, you can go to, okay, what I did was securities, company announcement. Then you go to, like, for example, DBS Group. Okay, look for financial statements. So down here, they say that it's going to come out soon already. If you cannot find, you can actually look under here, categories of financial statements. So I suppose with the latest quarter one, the PB will come down lah. I got a feeling their net book value will actually go up. But if not, based on this is the PB right now. So my conclusion is they are cheap, cheap because their dividend yield is high. Dividend is high, PE is low, but not super cheap lah. So depend on your take on the economy. If you think that 2024 is not going to do well, then I think it's worthwhile to wait, no? See whether it can get to super cheap or not. There's a possibility. But if you think that 2024 is going to do well, it's going to take off, yeah lah, don't always try to bottom fish. It's very difficult lah.